What up, people? My name is Batman. The gameplay you're watching right now is a Scar H Nuclear I dropped on Nuketown the other day, and there's actually an Ultra Kill in there somewhere too as well, so it's pretty good stuff. What I want to talk about is how to get better for Ghost multiplayer, because the reveal is out now, and seeing all the footage coming out yesterday, all the new game modes, the new weapon types, create a class system, I'm feeling both intimidated and excited. Intimidated because transitioning from one COD to the next is generally a messy business and can even be demoralizing sometimes. Because at this point, most of us in our own way have mastered the current Call of Duty, right? We feel comfortable playing because we've been playing for so long the same game and we just pwn noobs all day. But then, when we get on the new COD, we go from feeling like a god to feeling kind of like a noob again. Because even though the core gameplay is the same, adjusting to the new maps, new weapons, new perks, new create a class system, and new score streaks is difficult. And speaking from personal experience, there's nothing more infuriating than going from feeling invincible on COD right back to square one first day of school. You know what I mean? And I'm excited, obviously, as a player who enjoys new Call of Duties, but also and especially as a YouTuber, and I'm sure most YouTubers get excited around this time of year every year, because the release of a new COD is always the golden opportunity to like explode your channel growth. You know what I mean? So for about the first 2 months, this massive window of opportunity opens up where even a small channel can hit it big. I had 30 subscribers when Black Ops 2 launched. And the video I got out at 2 a.m. on the midnight release broke 20,000 views. So I intend to take full advantage of COD's release this year, and I intend to overcome and adapt to and master what is new. But to really do that, I need to be at the absolute top of my game. I need to be better at Call of Duty than I've ever been before. I need to take my COD abilities to the next level, so that at midnight on the game's release, I'm an unstoppable force of justice on Call of Duty. And I thought I would share with you guys how I intend to do that. Now, to accomplish this, there's a wide range of training regimens that I'm going to partake in regularly between now and the release of Ghost to amplify my Call of Duty abilities beyond human comprehension. To really elevate your abilities at Call of Duty, you have to practice the way athletes practice for their sports. You can't just play Call of Duty. A soccer player isn't going to just play soccer games all day at practice. They're going to engage in a variety of activities, each designed to improve a specific part of their performance. Whether it's dribbling through cones to, improve their footwork, or running with ankle weights on to get faster. So, the specific and fundamental Call of Duty abilities that are required in every Call of Duty that you want to work on to be at the top of your game when Ghost launches are gunplay and critical thinking. Now, the training isn't going to be fun and easy. Just like doing squats for football is not fun or easy. It's going to be hard and frustrating. The idea is to challenge yourself and push yourself to overcome said challenges. First off, burn your comfort zone to the ground. For example, over the course of Black Ops 2, I've gotten way too used to toughness and dexterity. I take it for granted that I can sprint around corners and get shot, but still get the kill. And I've also gotten too used to flak jacket, and I'm so used to surviving grenades to the face that even on this game, if I take flak jacket off to run lightweight or ghost, I'll take a bunch of needless deaths because I basically tune out the grenade indicators, I just assume that I'll survive, and it's a rude surprise when I don't. And I also run the stock attachment way too much, so whenever I use a weapon that doesn't have it and I can't ADS and strafe at the same time, it throws off my entire playstyle and I feel helpless, Another sort of comical example is back in Modern Warfare 2, I ran Commando Pro all the time. It was the only third perk I found useful, and I basically forgot that fall damage was in the game, and I can't tell you how many needless and infuriating deaths I took in Black Ops 1 after Modern Warfare 2, because I'd jump out of a window or off a balcony and kill myself, and nothing is worse than killing yourself one off a chopper gunner or some shit. So getting out of your comfort zone is painful. So get it over with right now so that when Ghost comes, you're good to go. Because you don't know when your favorite perks or attachments will be unlocked in the new COD, if they are there at all. So the core fundamentals, and I'll probably do more in-depth videos for each of these things, but as a general overview, here's how to get better at the core elements of Call of Duty. Your reaction time is super important. Most often, the winner and loser of a gunfight is determined by who reacted faster, even if the difference in reaction is tenths of a second. This is why lag is such a problem, because even tenths of a second of a lag difference is going to make it impossible for someone to win a gunfight. The quick draw attachment only increases ADS by tenths of a second, and that makes a significant difference in who wins gunfights. To improve your reaction time, I recommend playing in the hardcore playlists with a KSG. It's going to be painful, but the idea is the KSG is a one-shot kill on core and hardcore. So you're basically lowering your health big time without increasing your damage. So you're going to be playing at a severe disadvantage in the sense that in regular core, if a guy reacts first but you have a shotty, you can still win. But in hardcore, you have to react first every single time before that guy gets a shot off. This will force you to step up your mental twitch abilities or die. It's worth mentioning that hardcore in general is good for improving reaction times because of the low health, but if you're not going to play hardcore in Ghosts, what you don't want to do is get used to how quickly people die and then feel like everyone has Juggernaut when you go back to core. Using the KSG avoids this problem. Another way to improve your reaction time is to play with the Assault Shield, and then put on fast hands with C4 or a quick pistol, engage an opponent, get in one of those, one-on-one skirmishes, and as soon as they give an opening for attack, for instance, if they stop to reload, or if they pull out a grenade, or if they try to bum rush your flank, you have to instantly pull out that pistol or C4 and get the kill, and just focus intensely on your opponent, and as soon as you see that hand go into the pocket or some shit, let him have it. If he still kills you, you're not reacting fast enough, and this exercise will force you to react faster. Now, after reactions, gunplay in general is fairly basic. You need to work on aiming and managing recoil. And this is pretty straightforward. Use precision weapons that will get you punished if you miss the first shot. KSG, no attachment. Ballista iron sights. No attachment SMRs or any semi-auto weapon. No attachment hammer. A no attachment 5.7 is going to have low damage, and the semi-auto will force you to stay on target for a long period of time. On top of this, use very high recoil weapons. No attachment Scorpion, no attachment MTAR. The hammer is good for this as well. I also recommend trying to hit 5 sensitivity. I think anyone that can play at 3 sensitivity can adapt to 5 sensitivity gradually and do just as well. But after 5, I would argue even good players have to give up some of their long-range aiming abilities. Like, I was gradually working up and I got used to 6 and 7, but I still felt I was a more effective player on 5. If you're feeling extra brave, try disabling your aim assist for a little while. That's going to be painful, but it will force you to improve at getting on target. And when you go back to having aim assist, it's going to feel way easy, aiming that is. You need to learn to jump shot and drop shot as well. These are both extremely effective maneuvers that will save your life and win gunfights that you would otherwise lose, which is a big deal. Now, critical thinking. This is the other thing you want to use the Assault Shield for. Every Call of Duty match and online multiplayer match in general is an exercise in critical thinking. What is my opponent going to do, when, and why? Anytime you're playing with an Assault Shield and you get into one of those one-on-one scenarios where the guy is just trying to, outmaneuver you, you have to try and play the game while simultaneously putting yourself in your opponent's shoes and continually asking questions about what they're going to do. For instance, if he gets you with a stun grenade, you have to immediately ask, now what's he going to do? The answer you come up with should be that he's going to bum rush your flank, so you better drop the C4 in his path right now. Alright? Another good way to improve critical thinking is to play with the M1216 full auto shotgun, because this gun, and this applies to the Assault Shield as well, is only going to stand a chance in gunfights under like 10 feet. This is going to force you to maneuver and travel the map in a way that avoids every long-range line of sight where you have no possible chance of winning. And that's difficult, and it's going to require your mind to really examine all the routes available and choose the safest option. If you have an M1216 or an Assault Shield and you see a guy camping in the window, you can't just shoot at him, you have to devise a clever strategy to get into the building and close the distance without being detected. With the M1216 and the Assault Shield, you're going to have to devise a clever plan to engage every enemy at the closest distance possible, and that requires hardcore critical thinking. And really, most gunfights where you and your opponent are both aware of one another are going to come down to this kind of critical thought process. Who can predict the opponent's movements more accurately, more quickly, and that's why critical thinking is so important. But the reason you're doing this with an Assault Shield or the shotgun is because it's going to force you to think like that. It's going to force you to think as critically as possible for every single fight. And the entire concept of practice is the more you do it, the better you get. And if you really, really, really want to push your critical thinking to its limits, go knife only. But personally, knife only is too frustrating for me. This training will be ruthless and difficult, but it will pay off, because in the first months of Ghosts, every player is going to be brutally thrown out of their comfort zone, and upon realizing that, they will be weak psychologically where you are strong. And at that point, every player will be forced to rely on the core basics of Call of Duty, and you, since your strength in these core areas will be maximized, you will be the most deadly player in every match you play. Please remember to rate the video and follow me on Twitter for 140 character tips and tricks and in-depth strategies and other neat stuff. This is Batman, signing out.